Well, well, well. Hi everyone. Welcome to Write Your Narrative, a weekly podcast where we're all going to be discussing everything street art related happening in South Florida. I'm your host Pascal D from Talking of the Wall. This week, my guest is my good friend photographer Sandro Abate. He's well known for his stunning photos of the fast-changing Wynwood street art scene. We met over 10 years ago, and he was a regular contributor to Talking of the Wall and gave us incredible artist portraits for the magazine cover. He's easy to recognize with his distinguished white beard and purple Converse sneakers when he's walking down the street looking for a new mural to photograph. Sandro and I will discuss and bitch a little bit about the gentrification of our favorite neighborhood. Is Wynwood still the street art capital city, or is it doomed? So, welcome to the podcast, Sandro.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, since then, Wynwood has changed quite a lot.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Not for the best.
Yeah, well, not for the best. So when I actually reached out to you the other day, you said, well, I don't really have anything to say, but I believe you have lots to say about Wynwood.
Yeah, I mean, people want to hear me complain about how badly it's gotten. I don't know about that. I do have strong opinions about Wynwood because it's making money for some people now. It's popular. Everybody is there, but it's like there's nothing special about it anymore.
There's nothing special, but still people from all around the world come and come to Wynwood.
Because the fame of it, because the name still means something, but it doesn't mean the same thing to me anymore. To me, Wynwood was, different, exciting. It was, always different. I would go there every day for either an hour or a couple of hours, depending on what was happening. And there was always something new to see. It was a dangerous place. You wouldn't hang there at night after, unless it was for what do you call it?
An
art walk or something like that. At the beginning, I would never be there at night because there was no reason to. It was dangerous. But during the day, there was always a new mural. There was always something interesting to look at and to shoot. And it was a fascinating place to me. But these days, I hardly go there anymore. I'll go there maybe, once a month, once every couple months. And mostly I even stay away from it because there's traffic and it's, you have to pay for parking.
Yes. Yeah, we all remember those days when the streets were like two-way streets and no parking meters, no nothing like this.
Yeah, exactly.
It was free fall.
It was a mess, but it was a beautiful mess.
And it was definitely a beautiful mess. We had a great time.
Yeah.
We definitely had a great time. And we made some great connections. I mean, really, some of the artists from Wynwood, I just interviewed with Diana Contreras, Didi. I mean, she's been around forever too. I mean, she was a fixture in Wynwood. She still is. She's still pushing her work and everything.
Actually, one of my first pictures in Wynwood was of her painting her Sophia mural.
Wow. Okay.
Which lasted like a month. And then they sold the not the building, but they sold the space, or somebody rented it, a different person, and then they buffed the mural and painted something. But I remember that wall, and I took several pictures of it, mostly just on my iPhone, because back then I was just shooting with my iPhone. And I think also some of the few photos of that mural she's gone.
Yeah,
because it didn't last long, and it was also before Basel, so it was not. It was like in October or something like that. So it was,
so the timing was kind of wrong to keep them. We knew the wall was not going to last.
Yeah, I mean, and back then I didn't even know what Basel was. I found out about Wynwood because the manager at a pizza place here in the neighborhood mentioned it to me, like in August of 2012.
Oh, 2012 is the first time that you went?
Yeah, and then so I go there for art week. What do you call it?
Art
walk, and I'm blown away because I had no idea Wynwood existed. And and from then on, I started going to Wynwood almost on a daily basis. I would not, and I started taking pictures with my phone because I would see the murals, and part of it is my ADHD. I like to collect things. And I just, it was interesting. Wynwood was overwhelming because there were so many things to look at.
Yeah, it was definitely. That's strange because you say, I mean, it's very interesting because you say you like to collect things. And we are so grateful that for the work that you've done in Wynwood. I mean, it's going to have eventually to be shown or do something with it. But you've been documenting, and something we discussed with Rico James about the movie, Nobody's Movie, TMNK. I mean, this is so great, the work that you and other people are doing, documenting that art scene that it's gone now.
Yeah, sadly. Yeah, I wasn't intending to document anything. I was just like doing it for myself. I remember, at the beginning, years ago, like over 10 years ago, taking pictures of a mural. And, I'm a photographer, so sometimes at the beginning I would get like, the light's not good, this, etc., or I don't feel like stopping right now, and so I didn't take pictures. And there was a mural. I said, like, I'll come back tomorrow. I'll take pictures. And when I came the next day, it was gone.
Yes,
and I was like, oh my God, I realized how precious a lot of this stuff is. That there's no guarantee that it'll be there tomorrow. That either it'll get buffed or somebody will come and trash it. Some toy will, write something on it, something stupid, or they tear the building down.
Yeah,
you never know.
Yes,
so
now that most of the buildings are gone, and there's brand new buildings.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and the new buildings don't have room for street art. So
yeah, there is some. There's no windows. It's just a different ball games. Talking about all these buildings, I remember a conversation I had with you. You were just in Mana's office, and he showed you some project that he had that is still yet to come.
Yeah.
So, and then maybe one day we'll have a big Mana building, a big.
Well, from what I hear,
you were quite impressed.
Yeah, from what I hear of Mana, though, he talks a big game and doesn't actually ever build anything. So and this has been, this was back in 2016, before the election, and we were doing a mural. No, I wasn't doing a mural, but I was shooting the mural. But anyway, it was the Joker as Trump, and he has the knife up to the neck of the Statue of Liberty, and there were like, I don't know how many artists there were, like a dozen artists painting the wall.
Yeah, he actually commissioned that wall at the time.
Yeah, and they invited us to Moishe's office, which is right next door, and they served us food, and then they did the presentation, and they had all these plans for changing all the land that they own right there, which is where the convention center is.
Yes,
they were planning to build this, very tall building. I think, if I remember correctly, it was like 28 stories or something like that.
Something that tall.
Yeah, and they were going to have retail on the bottom. Supposedly they were going to have studio spaces and this and that. But, this was 8 years ago. That's all I remember from that.
Yeah, well, so maybe one day we'll see something happening. Anyway, there's just so much happening in Wynwood. New constructions all around the Wynwood. There's a hotel now. I mean, we have yet to see some...
who wants to stay in Wynwood?
There's so many people. So people come from all around the world. I mean, there's
maybe if you're just like that much, maybe they're just like tourists, but it's expensive. It's crowded. I don't get it.
It's still I don't know. I don't go as often as I used to, but it's still a fun place to go to. There's not as much art as it used to be.
But even I was watching a post on Instagram, and I forget from who, but they were talking about how even bars are beginning to feel the pinch because of all the residences that are now don't want bars open all hours of the night. They don't want noise. They don't want, it's like, so now even that part of Wynwood is getting killed off because the residents who moved to Wynwood don't want it to be Wynwood. It's like, then why live there? Oh my God, it's noisy, it's crowded. Yeah, and you didn't know this?
Well, that's the interesting part of it. I mean, this is one of the growing pains and something that we see happening. It just did happen pretty fast.
Yes and no. I mean, it got fast towards the end. At the beginning, there were signs.
Yes.
Well, I mean, the part of Wynwood that you and I loved is dead.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, dead and buried. But I remember seeing signs early, like as early as 2014, of how it was changing and not for the good. Because back in the 80s, me and my wife, we used to go to Key West because she had some like legal classes back there that she was taking. And Key West in the 80s was very, very raw. You know, there was a lot of BDSM shops, little gay shops selling crappy T-shirts and stuff, and this wasn't very developed. But it was Key West, and it was fun. It was interesting, and we went for several years doing that. She was taking classes every summer there for CLE classes, I think they're called. And over the time that we did that, probably did about 10 years of that, I saw Key West changing and getting gentrified.
Oh, I'm sure.
And becoming developed. And now it's basically an outdoors mall. You know, you can find anything you want in shops that you could find here in air conditioning, you find down there without air conditioning and crowded and with a lot of cruise ships. So I saw those signs in Wynwood. I saw, and little by little, I realized that, that Wynwood would stop being what I loved. And that's one of the reasons I kept taking pictures, because it was like, I don't know how long it's going to last.
Someone just posted a picture of Wynwood, some building, and made the dimension of Wynwood 4.0 now, which a year ago I used to see Wynwood 2.0. Now we are Wynwood 4.0.
But I mean, I don't know about you, but if I remember, it's on 25th and 5th Avenue, there's these stores that they built there, and they never opened. Their store display, not their windows, but they never actually, nobody rented them. And they've, and then they got taken over by graffiti again, but they never were inhabited. So if that's happening, how much of this is sustainable? When is, I think that at some point there's going to be another, bubble popping in Wynwood, because it can't last forever. It just doesn't, at certain point people are going to say, why are we paying all this money to be here? When if you have a business there, your rent is so high that you have to be making so much money to pay rent and your overhead.
I'm sure
at certain
very high.
Yeah, but at certain point, it doesn't make sense to be in Wynwood anymore. And then what?
Talking about and then what? Might be switching a little bit topic. Since you've been taking so many photos about the and then what? What do you think you want to do eventually one day with all these photos?
Well, like I said,
a booth or doing
like I said, I love collecting.
It all comes down to money, I'm sure.
And I everything I learned about Wynwood came from me being in the street taking pictures. I had never had an intention of doing something else, but my skills are in taking pictures and observing and being there. Organizing is not my forte. So, although I would love to put something together like a book or an exposition, I would need help and money to put it together. And right now I just don't have those things. So I have the pictures, they're all over my computer, I have them backed up online and so forth. But other than occasionally going through them to find something whenever I want to reminisce or somebody passes away, like Levo recently, I'm not as actively taking pictures anymore because there's simply not as much to look at. It's like right now I think Edo is painting a mural on not in Wynwood technically. It's on 7th Avenue and 21st.
Okay, yes.
But aside from that, I mean, most of the stuff that's happening in Wynwood is commercial, so it doesn't interest me.
It is commercial, but we still have some of the local guys who are doing wall once in a while. I mean, we just wrap up Basel not too long ago. So
this Basel was very quiet. This Basel wasn't big at all. I mean, it was probably one of the smallest Basels outside from 2015. I think was in the year where it got rained out.
Oh my goodness, that year was
So I think that this last year was even smaller than that.
So is there any other neighborhood that are blowing up that
not really.
I mean, it's just like all spread out.
It's so spread out that this artists are still painting, but they're not painting when they're painting all over the place. And that's the sad part about Wynwood not being what it used to be anymore. Is that there was so much concentration of art and artists. I remember hanging out at Panther Coffee and just there would be almost everybody there was an artist, and they were sitting there either talking to other artists or sketching. Like, nobody would be there all the time sketching, or people would be taking a break from painting a mural, or they would be wondering what they were going to do next. But you could basically hang out and print the coffee and just have the pulse of what was happening.
Totally. This was like the drinking hall. Everybody would come and
to me that was like the heart of Wynwood.
It was really, really, really the heart of Wynwood. And Wood Tavern also was another big spot.
Yeah. That
and which is gone.
Well, you drank coffee and then you went over to have a beer or have a drink or or have free tacos. Taco Tuesday.
The Taco Tuesday, yes, and that was right next to it.
Yeah.
So which was a
Taco Tuesday kept a lot of artists fed.
Well, things have definitely changed. What do you think is going to be happening next? How do you see something happening in Wynwood? Families moving into Wynwood or things like this, maybe?
No, I know. At a certain point, it's gonna. Although it's not what families can afford to live there. I think that a lot of the real estate in South Florida is investment real estate for people out of state or out of town. So maybe people are renting them out, or maybe because who can afford a $750,000 or $1 million apartment in Wynwood?
Yeah.
And what are you are you gonna have kids there?
Yeah.
What school are they going to?
Yeah.
What when you go shopping, where do you want to go shopping to? At the bodega? So it's like those kind of people don't want to go shopping in Wynwood. So I don't know. It seems to me like it's, although there might be some people with means who live there because it's a hip place to be at. I'm not sure how long that lasts. I think that at some point, Miami has a history of real estate bubbles popping.
Yeah.
And the prices for real estate right now are insane.
So if we're still around in 20 years, we might get our Wynwood back.
or maybe some other. It's like, I don't know how long you've been in Miami, but I've been here over 40 years. And Coconut Grove in that time has, boomed and busted at least 3-4 times, So maybe the same thing happens in Wynwood, it wouldn't surprise me. But at some point, something's got to give because, first, living in Miami is nearly impossible right now unless you're rich. And second, these prices cannot last for long.
Yeah. All right. So maybe we'll have some of our wealthy friends investing and opening a gallery and doing something fun again and throwing some parties.
Yeah.
Even at Wing 317s, we don't even see you that much.
Well, I was there the other day when JC Reda had his opening.
Oh, yes.
I was there today. Yeah, but actually, I pass by there more or less regularly because I go to the Panther Coffee over on Second.
Oh, okay. All right.
In Little Haiti. Because I don't go to the one in Wynwood as much because I hate to, try and park there.
Parking over there in Wynwood it's a headache.
Yeah.
It definitely is a headache, yes. So talking about Jesse Rivera, who was going to be on the podcast pretty soon. I mean, it's interesting to see, even after everything we said wrong about Wynwood, still we got some artists who come from out of town and try to live here. Do you think they just come here for the sun in Florida, or what do you?
No, I mean, I think Wynwood still has a certain name, a certain fame. So, but after a certain time is, like a lot of people that I remember seeing back in the heyday don't come here anymore because it's not, either they're making, they got their fame and they don't need Wynwood anymore. But there was a certain prestige to come to Wynwood and have a wall there.
Yeah.
And, I think the value of that is somewhat tarnished, but it's still important to have some presence here. But then after that, you don't need to be here all the time. You move on to other places and new horizons, new things.
All right, so that'll bring us to the end of this podcast, and there's something I like to finish with.
Mm-hmm.
Just we're gonna finish with a little quote about, of course, what we just discussed, and I just found this rather interesting.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna let you read it out loud and comment on that.
Okay. disappointment is just a temporary setback on the road to success. Unknown. Well, I don't know. Hopefully that means that there's going to be a lot of success in Wynwood, because it's definitely disappointing right now. I mean, not that a lot of people are making money, but the artists didn't make the money. The developers made the money.
Yeah.
The people selling apartments made the money.
Well, it is something.
But that's not news. I mean, that's how the story of art. That artists have always been used, by other people to make money. Like the world of art, fine art. The world of fine art is a scam. It's always been.
So Wynwood is a scam too.
Yeah. And I mean, the story of South Florida is.
It is.
Florida, history of real estate scams.
Oh.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, we're breaking a lot of news today. Anyway, let's just finish that podcast on this quite positive note, if we can.
Mm-hmm.
So the Wynwood picture is a little black right now, and let's hope with something's
I hopefully
going to come out.
Hopefully, I know it comes back again, and we have more art coming. I just wish that the people who invested in it had appreciated what made it special more, had saved more of it.
Yeah, I believe there's some walls, some money usually that is supposed to be reserved from some art murals or something, art installation within the buildings.
Yeah.
Inside or outside, maybe some of it is not.
Yeah, but the thing that was cool about Wynwood was that it was out in the street, available to everybody. You could come and touch the art. You could come and see the art being made.
Yeah.
And that was so special. That was so cool. I learned so much about art and how art is made just by being there and watching people like Nichos, turn a wall into something 3D right before me, and just being like, oh my God, how did I witness this? And I still don't believe it.
And you could also talk to the artist.
Yeah.
You could witness the whole thing. You could.
Yeah, it was before they started putting barriers.
Yes,
you couldn't get to the wall. Yeah,
we could really talk to the artists. We could meet the artists. We could understand who they are, what their intentions are.
You could look at their sketchbook and see what they had in mind and what was how it got to the wall. And it was an amazing experience, and it's something that I'll always cherish. But it's a pity that that is not available anymore, but I'm glad that I experienced it. It was certainly a very special moment in time.
All right, so let's keep on that positive note that we had a great time, and thank God we were there at the time when it was fun, when it was just free for all and open, and everybody had a good time without even thinking too much about money, because this is what drives Wynwood.
Yeah, that's why the art started coming there in the first place, because people started investing in Wynwood to make money.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sandro, for being on the podcast. I knew you said you had something to say about it. It's good.
The question is, anybody wants to listen to me complain, that's it.
Well, we'll see. We may have some comments online about all this, but definitely thank you very, very much. This is how you wrote your narrative. At Wynwood. This is what you've done with all your work and everything. So, all right. Well, we're looking forward to post this on Write Your Own Narrative, and we'll see if we have some kind of comments about this. Don't hesitate to reach out to us and post something.
Well, they can send the negative comments to you. All the good ones they can.
All right. Okay. All right. We'll do all that. But we're not going to be shy about posting anything. Just let us know what you think about Wynwood. If how disappointed you are or happy you are to be living in Miami or in Wynwood. And we'll go from there.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Thank you so much again, Sandro.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You can discover Sandro's work and follow him on Facebook and Instagram at Sandro Abate, SANDROABATE. Thank you for listening to my new podcast, Write Your Narrative. Please follow me and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform. Next week, I will be talking to an incredibly talented Peruvian muralist and the gallerist who gave him his first solo exhibit here in Miami. Have a great week, and we'll see you then.